Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zebra Talk, the podcast where we shine a little light onto the lives and the untold stories of the people who slide on their knees and count the threes. That's right, I'm talking about the referees. And today I'm joined by one of my friends from way south. We're talking way south. We're going way past Mexico. We're dropping all the way down into South America. That's right. Today we're going to talk about Chilean specifically, but South American professional wrestling. And we're joined by one of my favorite people internationally. You've seen him as a former referee on Wrestling Superstars, and he's the current head referee on 5 Luchas. Please welcome Ivan Navarro. How are you, Ivan?
Hey, hey, yeah, cool, really cool.
Hello.
Thanks for,
Welcome.
thanks. Hello. I'm
Get all the
so
jitters
static.
out now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm so static right now.
It's going to
Sorry.
be okay.
Well,
We're going to get through it. Go ahead. Tell the people a little bit about yourself.
well, I'm Ivan Navarro. I'm from Talagante, Chile. It's a little town all over Santiago de Chile. I have 34 years old. No, this this Saturday, 28 August August 28th, it's my birthday, so I will be with 34 years.
34. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Happy birthday.
thank you. I've been in this as a referee kind of 8 years.
It's a long
Eight
time.
years in wearing the zebra costume.
Yeah. How have you feel how do you feel about your career so far? Like obviously you've done a lot of things. You've been one of the more like prominent like referees in the professional wrestling scene in South America. Tell us a little bit about like some of the things that you've done over the years before we just dive into this story.
Yeah. One of the biggest things have been done as a referee here was working with Wrestling Superstars.
Hmm.
Was a company formed by Darko Navarro, a Chilean wrestler, and in association with Hugo Sabinovich, who was this um, Spanish announcer sorry, Spanish commentator on WWE.
For many, many years, right? Hugo
Yeah,
Savinovich? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of almost
So
like a Jim Ross or a Jerry Lawler for like
kind of,
WWE's
yeah.
Spanish commentary table. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead,
Now
keep
he's
going.
working. Now he's working with AAA,
Hmm.
some territories in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
So he works with the Lucha Underground too.
Yeah,
And in the beginning of the AEW, he was the commentator too.
sure. So he was putting
So
together wrestling superstars, and that was where you had been working.
yeah, that was when I worked with the Wrestling Superstars since the second show,
Hmm.
not the first. So in the second show, I was working with one of my favorite wrestlers, and then that was Matt Hardy.
Okay.
And then since then, I have all the matches that Matt Hardy was involved. And one match in particularly, it's one of the first matches with the feud of the Young Bucks and the Hardy Boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
That
remember hearing a lot about that when that was going on.
yeah, that's kind of born here in Chile,
Sure. Because they had
and that
both been on
was
this big international tour and they had
yeah,
brought the match to the show that you were working on, right?
it was yeah, that was the second time that the match happened
Hmm.
around the world. So that was, I think that was my first and one of my biggest matches that I have.
That was one of your first matches?
No, my
Oh.
first
Oh, one of
biggest
your first
matches.
big matches. Gotcha.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
yeah,
that's quite a way to step into the ring, my friend.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was um in it has a bump. I receive a super kick
Hmm.
from one of the young bucks, so
Sure.
I think I sell it well.
Okay.
Yeah.
They weren't mad when they
So
got to the back. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, nice.
Uh, so
I
let's not get
always
ahead of ourselves. Let's start, kind of where the story begins. Tell us a little bit about how you became involved in pro wrestling. Like, what was your first exposure to wrestling, and how did that
Mhm.
lead to you actually wanting to become involved?
As many of us, I started such like a fan.
Hmm.
Oh, I was I bought tickets to the indie promotion here that's called Revolución Lucha Libre,
Okay.
um, Revolution Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah.
Um, and I started there. Then they need a photographer, so I've been in the photo stuff, kind of like a year and a half. Then I do commentators.
Hmm.
We have that time here in Chile. It was every show has a live commentator.
Yeah. Like live
Uh,
on the like speaker
and
so that the audience
yeah,
can hear it. Yeah.
yes, kind of like that. And then I came back to the photograph like a photographer. So then the promoter talked to me and said we need a ref.
Hmm.
One of our refs, it's gonna be wrestling the next show, so we need another ref.
We need someone to do
So
it, and you're here all the time, so
yeah,
get over
yeah,
here.
take the shirt, take a jogger, take some and anything black for your pants.
Sure.
So, and the next show, like I have a month to be prepared.
Okay.
In that month, I study two of the greatest of all time and two of my favorites of all time. That's Mike Chioda and Charles Robinson. You know that
Okay.
that I'm a huge admire. I admire so much Charles Robinson.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, who better could you be like choosing to study if you know you need a crash course in professional wrestling?
Yeah.
So what's the professional wrestling scene like where you're from? Like paint a little bit of a picture for folks so that they get an idea of do you guys have a lot of indie companies? Are there shows every weekend? Do you have to kind of like scratch and claw for some wrestling content? Like what's it like?
Here in Chile, the wrestling business kind of it's big, but not as well known.
Okay,
We don't have much exposure,
sure.
but in the wrestling scene, we know each other.
Hmm.
It's a little world.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit big world. So I started, or when I started as a referee, we have shows once a month.
Hmm.
Yeah, and they were 8 years ago. There were two or three companies, but now it's here in Santiago are kind of 10 different companies.
So it's definitely growing. Yeah.
Yes, yes, definitely growing, and some companies are good, obviously, and some others are not that really good.
They've got some things to work on.
Yeah,
Sure.
um, but the biggest companies here in Chile are Five Luchas,
Hmm.
Revolución Lucha Libre, um, CNL,
Hmm.
Championship National League, um, and they were starting to grow up as next generation
Sure.
and Jan. And those are the biggest companies here.
So there's
Uh,
definitely like a scene for you to be able to like bounce around at and get around to a couple of different places
yes,
and things like that. And there's definitely an audience, even though it's kind of a an underground like fan kind of thing.
mhm,
So
yes,
you're studying Charles Robinson and Mike Chioda. You're getting ready to debut. You've got a month to do it. Tell us a little bit about what that experience was like.
was terrifying the first time.
Yeah.
The first time that was inside the ring, I wear gloves,
Hmm.
lifting weight,
Okay.
gloves.
Sure.
Um, I dress a shirt that no no that's not tight.
Yeah, too big.
Eh, yeah, too big.
Sure.
It wasn't mine, so
Hmm.
maybe it's obvious. And black joggers.
Hmm. Everybody's
So
like, that ref just lost a lot of weight.
kind of. So and some sneakers that I found, but they had a giant Nike logo
Yeah, of
in white.
course. Of
In white.
course.
So
Yeah.
that was my first dress code like
Mhm.
such a as a referee. And every show for kind of like a year, um, every jogger
Mhm.
has burned in my knees.
You ripped through your knees every time?
Y- Yeah, every time. So I finished every show with my knees. I wasn't wearing any pads.
Yeah,
So uh, there's after every show has holes in my on my knees.
right.
So I had to buy every time, every show, one pair of joggers.
I mean, that's a pain, but I guess it's a little bit better than like splitting your seam every time on every show, like bending over and uh
Once there were ones that my pants ripping off of my in between my legs,
yeah.
and I wasn't wearing black underwear.
Sure.
Kind of,
It's
it was white.
very common accident that we've talked about a lot on this show.
Uh,
Jimmy Corderas was talking about how he was wearing blue under his.
so no one realized that my pants were rip off,
Hmm.
and I didn't notice
Hmm.
until we have a break, and I came up to the backstage in Five Luchas, and then I saw my pants. Oh, they were rip off. I have a shoe. I have a shoe.
Yeah.
So
Sewing it with the needle, yeah.
needle between the mid time,
Yeah.
and then we go back to our to our business.
I want to see the like footage of that of everybody just like completely unaware that like
No, the people didn't look at it.
didn't
They,
notice.
they didn't notice there's no evidence about that.
Nice, nice, fantastic. Yeah, when I
So
split my pants open on Hollywood, like the audience behind me, every single one of them noticed, and they were really loud about it. But the cameras, for whatever reason, like never caught it on film. So like you hear the audience like teasing me and like yelling about it and being like, this ref's underpants are out, but like the cameras never see it. It's great. It's wonderful. So you were terrified. Do you remember who was in your first match? Do you remember anything about
it
it?
was a kind of a school match.
Hmm.
So their names are changing constantly. So I
Sure.
can
So it was other
remember.
students that you were training with.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
And did you like start actually like going to wrestling training when you were getting ready, or have you gone to wrestling training, or did you just kind of teach yourself how to do it and keep going?
I know the basic,
Sure.
how to bump. I trained a little bit, but
Hmm.
and that time with from my profession, I'm a professional dancer. I study like from 2008, no, 2007
Sure.
till last year,
Yeah, just very recently,
January.
right? Yeah.
So so it wasn't any physically hard to me to for being in the ring. So I always train. So
Yeah, you were already
and
in like, athletic shape and like had the
yeah,
cardio to back up whatever you were trying to do. It was just
yeah,
learning a new physical motion.
yeah,
Sure.
yes.
So tell us a little bit about that. Like, I feel like that's something that, like, we talk a lot in this podcast about how, like, this is a really cool thing to do with people that you've known for a long time, like yourself, and you and I have known each other for many years. Ivan here's been in Zebra Talk since, like, I think the first year, like, within
Yeah,
less
yeah,
than a
yeah,
few
yeah,
months. You were one of the, like, first, like, real international
yeah,
presences that we had. But people that you know for a long time that you never really get to, like, know because there's not really any, like, reason to dig that much into like their life and who they are other than just like surface level stuff. So let's talk about this. How'd you wind up in dance and what was your life like in dance?
And then I started in my college,
Hmm.
my school. Sorry, in my school. When I was 16, with the folkloric staff of my school.
Hmm.
So then I go to have an audition to have a folkloric ballet.
Okay.
So famous
Were
here
you
in
doing
Chile.
ballet?
Just to learn the basics,
Okay.
how to use it.
Sure.
But I never professionally do ballet.
Sure.
So kind of like Aubrey was a professional ballerina. So
Right.
I, I can't compare to that. I appreciate all the people who does ballet. So I love ballet, but it's not kind of my thing.
Okay. So what is your thing? What specific kind of dance are we talking about?
Jazz dance,
Hmm.
tap dance,
Hmm.
um, maybe a little bit of modern dance.
So very theatrical style dancing.
Yeah, very
Yeah. Okay. A lot of the
theatrical,
stuff
and
I was doing when I was in like musical theater.
I love musical theater. I
Sure.
have two roles when I was from my finished exams.
Hmm.
I have a role. We made Rent,
Okay. Very cool. Were you
and
Mark?
yeah,
Yeah.
I was Mark.
That's
I
great.
was Mark, and then we made Fame.
Mm-hmm. I know Fame. I've never been in it, but I've seen it a couple of times.
Yeah, so I love my thing was more about the theatrical. Sorry for my pronunciations. And
I'm sure that your English is a lot better than my Spanish. So
Uh, so musical theater, that's it.
Mhm.
And I always love the musical theater, but never do I never do anything more than those two roles.
Gotcha.
Then when once I finished my study in dance and show dance.
Hmm.
Um, I was making classes for the first years
Yeah. So now you're
um,
teaching that.
of yeah.
Sure.
I have physical, more physical. So I train them to have um, a good uh, kind of muscle.
Yeah, a good foundation, a good base.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a good base for the next years. It was the first year, and we have 4 years, and then the school closed because
Mhm.
social strikes here
Yeah.
in 2019, I think. Yes, 2019 in October, and then I lost my job and I resigned, kind of the dance thing.
Hmm.
I'm I think I'm retired of dance.
Sure. That's kind of I've been going back and forth a lot about whether or not I'm done with acting because like I was doing a lot of things even like while I was involved with professional wrestling just until professional wrestling got too busy. But now that things have kind of slowed down a lot for me again, I'm like, I mean, acting's right there. Why don't I just go do that again? Like what was it that made you feel like it was time to just like, put dance down and just be done with it for now?
Yeah, yeah. With the pandemic situation too, so uh, I I'm making different things right now
Hmm.
to live, to pay my dues, to pay my
Yeah.
rent, um, and that's how I live now. I always say that if one day, I hope one day I can live from wrestling,
Hmm.
that would be my happiest moment of my life.
Yeah, it's wonderful and amazing and kind of funny how often I hear people talk about their goals in wrestling. Like so many folks, like they don't even necessarily want to chase like WWE or AEW or anything crazy like that. There's so many people that are just like, I just want to make a living wrestling. Like I don't care what it looks like. I just want to be able to do what I care about and what I love and pay my bills and not have to, like sacrifice all my time to just like pay my rent so that I can go do this too.
Yeah,
um,
so I mean, we my dream is WWE.
mhm.
My I can't lie about it,
Sure.
but I have to be realistic
Yeah.
too. But I think that have so many things to do first in my country
Sure.
for wrestling. I
Hmm.
know that some people tell me every year, every time that we talk, why don't you learn some people about the referee?
Teach other
But
people how to referee.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's so difficult because there's no people interested, and so many kind of legends of our country
Hmm.
said that I have so much material to teach them,
Yeah.
to how why I don't write something about like a manual,
Yeah.
like a how to, or how to ref for dummies when those books.
Sure.
So, but I think that I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel when I think about it as well. Like, not to mention the fact that, like, I'm pretty sure that you're like myself. Like, we never really had like specifically a referee trainer. So when
Mhm.
I go to think about, like, am I ready to teach other referees how to do it or am I not? The thing that really just kind of stops me in my tracks is like I never had anybody teach me how to do it, so I don't necessarily know how to teach other people how to do it. Like, I don't have lessons that I learned when I was coming in that I can be like, okay, do this because I did this when I was in training. It's all just like starting from scratch and being like, okay, how do I explain to a person who's never done this before how to do this effectively? It's a
Eh,
big daunting task.
Yes, it's how to find a method
Hmm.
to teach them. And it's so hard because like you were saying, when no one teaches, we never have a class
Yeah,
to be part of how to ref. We
yeah,
learn about advices, some some advice that someone in the locker room said to us, can I say something to you?
sure.
Or when we ask something, how did I did this? You think that I have to put more on this? I
Hmm.
have to put less on this. So it's so hard, so difficult to teach someone. I admire. I know that I've been listening, obviously, the podcast, and that Jeremy Marcus is teaching
Yeah.
people, training people to be a ref. I will love that. I took some classes with him. Uh, I know that many people in the business, in the scenario, have some classes, but others don't. But they know how to teach others,
Yeah.
to teach others, and that's how I need to. I think I have to find in the next years, maybe, because now we are stopped here in wrestling.
Hmm.
I know that
Yeah, everything's still on standby, right?
sometimes United States it's starting this with some protocols, obviously, um, and we with the audience, but we don't have audience yet. We much of the promotions here are learning how to work with a
Hmm.
camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
think it's a really easy thing to like kind of glance over is the fact that like yes, you have a wonderfully full, rich professional wrestling scene in your area, but like it's still very, very new. Like
yeah,
you're saying, people are just learning how to use cameras properly and lighting and sound and things like that. And distribution, like you said, like one of the biggest issues that your country's facing is that you guys have a product and content, but like it's just having quite a time getting in front of eyes to watch it.
that was one of the things that we were doing on Five Luchas.
Hmm.
How to stream. We have our gorilla position,
Yeah, I
and
remember
yeah,
seeing the live streams. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So we prepared the lights with the mics. I I I, I with me with another's. We do all the sound things and how to
Hmm.
connect this. We arrived early to the shows to do that thing every time. Nick Bonanno does. Nick Bonanno, I know that Nick. It's is almost like a producer now. He's
Yeah,
working producing events. So I love one day to I love how to learn about the production scene in
sure.
wrestling from him. I think that I have so much to learn now, but the distance is a it's a very how can I say it?
Makes it a big challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So the tickets are so expensive to travel. So,
yeah,
I, but but that hunger that I have to to learn to acknowledge um, everything I can. It's here. It's there, and I always I don't watch the wrestler. I always watching the referees now and
yeah.
every show since I put my referee shirt.
It's nice now, though, you're talking about like it is hard to overcome the challenges of distance and, time and things like that. Like, I think because, you and I have done a bunch of video things together with like the Q&A series and like,
Mhm.
other projects in the past, and we've spoken a lot. And I think like I know that you're only 3 hours ahead of me. I'm on West Coast time and you're on the US like East Coast
Mhm.
time zone,
Yes.
even though it's called something else where you're at. But like it's so easy for us to think because you're on another continent that you're, like you're going to be hours and hours ahead of me or something like that. But like, yeah, you're just 3 hours ahead where we just happen to be like thousands of miles apart vertically. Like there's nothing stopping us from just having a call like this and like having a little, chat about like referee strategy and like, I think that this has been a really hugely beneficial tool, Zoom and, online streaming and things
Yeah.
like that for the professional wrestling industry because there are so many of us that live so far from each other that, we never really have a chance to like we're so busy when we're around each other in person putting on the show, we don't really have time to like sit and chew the fat and figure out how we can do things better and how to learn from each other. But now that we have this kind of a tool, it's a little bit easier.
And Silver Talk does that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of the idea.
Yeah. See, yeah. Much of the advices that or the questions that I have from other refs here,
Mhm.
I took from the Silver Talk when Jimmy Corderas the the question that once a month it's there.
Yeah.
It's the of the triple threat matches.
So,
the,
do rope breaks count in a triple threat match? Yes or no?
no, it's a no DQ. It's no DQ.
So we talked a little bit about you getting started. It was a student match. You had had a month to prepare. Let's go ahead and fill in a few more of the gaps. Let's get you up to date with the story. Where did you go from there? You have your first match. I'm assuming it goes well. What was the next part of the process for you like? Like, did you just dive full tilt into reffing all the time? Were you traveling much? Was it just for the one promotion? Like, let's hear
Just
about
for
your
one
first
promo.
couple of years.
Yes. My first years was always in
Hmm.
Revolution Wrestling, because there's something that in that time the promotions had that is the exclusive to be
Exclusive
exclusive.
contracts. Yeah,
But we don't have contracts.
it was just an agreement.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Um, when I always been like kind of 4 years in Wrestling Revolution,
Hmm.
and the promoter of Five Luchas invite me to ref there.
Okay. And what was that
So
conversation like with the owner of Pro Wrestling Revolution?
I
Was it
never talk
okay? Or...
about it.
Okay.
I never talk about.
He's like, I'm gonna go do
I
that.
I
Bye.
I didn't felt that I have to talk with the promoter of the revolution
Sure.
because I don't have a contract.
Yeah.
They don't. In that time, they don't pay,
Sure.
so I don't have any attachments to that promotion.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I
And
came
personally,
to
like
five.
I've always felt like any promotion that would try to shun you from working for other places unless they have like a good reason, that's
Yeah.
not necessarily a place that you want to work for anyway. So it's nice that, nobody like give you a big deal or anything like that.
Mhm.
But go ahead, continue.
So on Five Luchas, they liked my work.
Hmm.
They pay, not
Nice.
too much, but they pay.
Yeah.
So I constantly had on Fridays Five Luchas,
Hmm.
and on Saturdays I had Wrestling Revolution.
And was this every
So
week or just like once
every
monthly?
week,
Not,
every week.
wow, you had a
That
great run going there. Yeah.
it was great. That was my better year.
Hmm.
That I have five luchas on Fridays and six matches on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So one day the promoter of Wrestling Revolution approached to me and asked me when I was stop refereeing on five luchas,
Sure.
and I said when you make me a contract of exclusive contract and you
Yeah.
pay me,
When you pay me enough to
and
make it worth not working there
yeah,
anymore. Yeah.
yeah.
And what did they say?
So the promoter said, "No, it's don't care about it. It's just a joke."
Sure.
They were joking.
Yeah.
They were
Well, no,
joking.
don't worry, don't
No,
worry. It's
no,
fine. It's
don't
fine. Go
worry.
ahead. We're just
Yeah,
kidding. Yeah.
yeah. So they start to make me apart
Hmm.
on Wrestling Revolution. They started to make things that I don't like it,
Hmm.
like ref bumps on every single match, and I was the
Sure.
only ref on the show.
Yeah, and that just doesn't make any sense.
That's making any sense. So um, I got sick one day on Friday
Hmm.
after five luchas. Oh, I arrived to five luchas sick. I ref all the show sick.
Hmm.
The promoter was so nice with me. They took me an Uber to drive me back home,
Hmm.
and that Uber it's like 45 minutes from the place that we run the show.
Yeah, so not exactly a cheap Uber.
Yeah. So the next day, I have a show on Wrestling Revolution, and I contact the promoter. And I say I got sick. I have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
They put me an
An
injection
IV.
and
Yeah.
an IV. So I was dehydrated,
Yeah.
and the promoter saw the message, but they didn't say anything.
Mm.
And I said to the promoter that you can contact this person to replace me.
Yeah.
I I do the job that has to be done,
Yeah.
or that I think that has to be done.
Finding a replacement
And
for yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the promoter never told me anything,
Right.
never asked me how I was, if I will get well, and
Just kind of washed their hands and said, "All right,
yeah.
bye." Yeah, that's
No,
that's
no, no,
awful. I'm sorry.
they didn't even say that.
Yeah.
So I took a step apart,
Hmm.
and stayed with five luchas every single Friday for almost like 2 years,
Yeah.
with no stop. So well, and five luchas and some advices from Silver Talk and from Mr. Will Gibson,
Hmm.
that he saw my match with the Young Bucks and the Hardy Boys. In that moment, I left the joggers, I left the gloves, and I dressed like a real referee,
Like a professional. Absolutely.
like a professional.
It's hard when you have those like interactions with folks in wrestling where like you give so much and you expect to get what you were given in return, and then you're disappointed. But I feel like situations like that usually find a way of revealing themselves to you, and like it was probably for the best. It freed you up to be more invested in Five Luchas, and obviously things have gone well since then. Let's talk a little
Yes.
bit about like what you guys have been working on pre-pandemic. What are your shows like? Obviously, every Friday you're streaming
Every
online.
Fri
Like,
Yes, we were streaming online every Friday on Facebook and YouTube.
mhm. Tell
We
everybody
have a
what Five Luchas is like, because it's not just a normal like WWE
no,
style family friendly wrestling show. Let's paint a little
yeah,
bit of the picture of like what the show is like.
yeah. The show of Five Luchas kind of a underground show.
Hmm.
It's I don't know how to say it. It's
You
a
literally walk
place.
down into a basement.
Yeah, it's kind of a basement. We
Yeah.
have a second floor that we have our backstage. The
Mhm.
wrestlers came down to the from the stairs and they face the people right here.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of when Progressing Gorilla does the bola
Hmm.
because the people are right here. The people are sit and they're staying their hands and they're touching the ring.
Yeah, no barricades, no
No,
separation
but
between the
yeah,
audience and the ring. They're just there pounding on the mat, ready to go.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. We have different kind of matches.
Hmm.
But always the most important thing in Five Luchas is show wrestling.
The show
Not
wrestling.
it's wrestling. It's the Japanese style, strong style,
Hmm.
mixed with a little bit of the American style,
Okay.
because we have and that time we have people that work on Japan for many years.
Sure.
We have Alejandro Saez,
Hmm.
that was the
He was in
one of
the
the
Cruiserweight Classic, right?
yes, he
Yeah.
was in the Cruiserweight Classic. We worked with the Satara. Satara was in the Mayan Classic.
Right. And then
Um,
she got
uh,
hired, didn't she?
no,
Or wait, no, there was somebody else
the
that got hired.
the one who got hired was Catrina Cortez.
Yeah, that's right.
After the Latin American tryout that they made here in Chile.
Yeah. Some names for
Then
people to check out if you've never really been exposed to South American wrestling: Alejandro Saez and Zatara and what is it, Catarina Cortez?
Catrina Cortez,
Katrina Cortez. Yeah.
all, also known as Jessie here in Chile.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead, keep going. So they were
Um,
working internationally and they were bringing things back to Chile.
yes, yeah. Oh, actually, Satara told me about the ear thing.
Hmm.
You should buy. When she arrived from the Mayan Classic and he was on the show, she told me that uh, you have to buy a radio.
Yeah.
You
You need
have
a
to buy.
headset. You have to be
You
able
need
to
it.
communicate with the
You
back.
need
Yeah.
it. Yes, you need it because this, because of this, because of this, and yeah, I took that. I bought a radio. I bought
Hmm.
radios. I make the mold for my ear.
Yeah.
I pay for it, and since then I started to work with the earpiece,
Okay.
with a headset that improved such a that was such a huge improvement to
Yeah.
our show that the promoter, sorry, the promoter of Five Luchas was so happy about that.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, folks, if you're listening and you've never had a chance to work with a headset, like there are some folks that like they're kind of waiting to go to a show where they get to interact with a headset that they already have. They're cheap enough. Go get a
yeah,
headset for your company. Like, it's obviously a bit of an investment and everything, but like it's worth it. It'll bring up the production value so much. The fact that the back
yes,
actually gets to be able to communicate with the people who are in the ring in real time, it'll just
it's so
anyway, please
important.
continue.
So then they had we have on Five Luchas and that after before the pandemic,
Hmm.
two of the biggest shows here in Chile.
Sure.
One's it's a deathmatch tournament,
Hmm.
and
Do
the
you do
other
deathmatch referee?
yeah,
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead.
yeah. I like it
Hmm.
because it's such a trust that the promoter has on you and the wrestler has on you,
Yeah, absolutely.
but your knees suffer.
A little bit, especially if you're
even
not still not wearing knee pads.
even if you had knee pads.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Thumbtacks go right through knee pads, folks.
yeah, or
Or
yes,
glass. Yeah.
or glass. So that's one of our biggest shows
What was
on
that
what
one called in case people want to look it up?
the death match tournament or torneo death match.
Hmm.
Um, and the other one is um, Underground King. That's the literal translation,
Okay.
but it's
King in
called
the Underground.
Rey Clandestino.
Very clandestino. Okay.
Yeah. Those are the biggest events that we have, and I I uh, I say it with properly the biggest shows here in Chile.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
How many people are we talking about coming to something like this?
um we have a full house for 500 people.
Okay.
Yeah,
So definitely
but
not a small show.
not a
Yeah.
small show. Um, Before that, we were talking about the wrestling superstars.
Hmm.
That shows was the biggest in South America.
Okay.
We have 5,000 people in a theater, so and sold out.
That's a lot
Every
of
single
folks.
sh- every single show in the Caupolicán Theater
Hmm.
was sold out, and they were not cheap but not too expensive. So we have meet and greet. We have to score the wrestler for the meet and greet, for the interviews with the press.
Right.
Uh, we have every single show in that theater. That theater, sorry, um, sold out.
Hmm.
But Clandestino Five Luchas, every time that he has a big show, they have a sold out too. We
Hmm.
have sold out.
So you're telling us the story of the Torneo Death and the Rey Clandestino. So
Mhm.
let's talk a little bit about how those were. What were those shows like?
We have preliminaries, maybe.
Preliminaries, the early
Yeah,
matches. Yeah.
in the Friday shows.
Okay.
So for a
So
little bit
like
of
the
time,
qualification matches to get you in the
the
tournament.
qualification.
Yeah.
That's a word. Sorry. All finished with two semifinals
Hmm.
in the deathmatch tournament. And when we finished the second semifinal, the first classified enters immediately,
Yeah. No
and they
break, just
have
right into the final. Yeah.
no breaks into the finals, and they were take everything that they could to bring the show, and they coronate the king of deathmatch.
Hmm. And who ended up winning in the end?
We have three king of that match.
Okay.
The first one was Anarco Montaña.
Hmm.
He is wrestling now in Europe, in England, and this September he will be in Spain in a big
Okay.
show. I can't remember the name of the show or the promotion. The second one was Al Cold,
Hmm.
one of the hardcore legends here in Chile.
Yeah.
And the third king of deathmatch was Billy Roca,
Okay.
who was last year was making a little tour in the United States in Orlando with CCW and other promotions there. That just barely when the pandemic starts, they were they fly to Orlando to make some shows, and then they everything close up.
Yeah. So right as things were really starting to like get rolling, that's when the
Yeah.
pandemic just kind of kicked everything out. It's
Yes.
unfortunate. Um, it sounds like there are a lot of like names worth like looking up and knowing about in South America. Would you say that the professional wrestling scene down there is still kind of at the stage where like there are good people, but they're relying on international people to come in and wrestle them for good matches, or are there enough like talented people in the like South American scene where like it's a really like self-contained unit? Like, do you guys?
Yes. We have talent.
Okay.
Also, Alejandro Saez was in Noah Pro
Hmm.
Wrestling in Japan. We have another wrestler that he was 3 or 4 years in DDT Pro
Okay.
in Japan, at Japan too. He's Diego Guanchulo.
Diego Wanchulo.
Diego Guanchulo. Maybe I wrote it then.
Yeah, maybe we'll fill in some of these names in
Yeah.
the bottom so folks can look them up.
Well, Katrina Cortez.
Mhm.
It's he was the younger contract signing
Mhm.
in the performance center. He has 19 years when she signed.
That's insane. Being 19 years old and getting signed to the performance center, like,
It's well, it's a dream come true for her.
yeah, absolutely.
We we talk about in the last show. I have the privilege to ref the last match here in
Hmm.
Chile,
For
her
her.
last match.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot. We have the doors open if I go to Orlando to visit her,
Hmm.
to make contact with her parents if they have to send her another present,
Sure.
anything. So it's a it's a little world. So we meet, we know each other, and
Hmm.
we have to make that favor.
Yeah, it's amazing the bonds that you form with people over your time in professional wrestling. You know, you end up becoming an actual family with people because, you're so like close and you bond so much over this thing that we have in common with each other that other people don't really understand. But like, no matter where it is that we're from or how old we are, or whatever, like we just kind of we get it.
Yeah.
um, Obviously, things were going really well before the pandemic hit. Pandemic happened. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys are doing right now as far as creating content, as well as what your goals are like once the pandemic ends. What's the future looking like for you and for Five Luchas?
Now we're frozen.
Hmm.
We're not doing
You guys are
anything.
recording though, right? Or you were
No,
a couple of weeks ago?
not yet, not
Okay.
yet. The promoter of Five Luchas is looking for some place to
Hmm.
train first.
Okay.
So we have a they say that we find a place, we train some months, and then
Yeah. Make sure
we
that when you guys
restart.
come back and make
Yeah,
content, it looks good.
yeah, yeah. Because so much of the wrestlers here in Chile are so lazy. Yeah, it's true.
Harsh, harsh. But
It's true.
if it's true, it's true.
It's true. I was lazy too these last 2 years. I was
Hmm.
doing nothing. I I
Yeah, I
used to
mean, I
train.
can't talk.
I used to train 2 or 3 times a day
Yeah,
for almost 7, 8 years,
yeah.
and then pandemic attack, and I was doing anything.
Everybody got sad and everybody went home and just
Yeah,
watched TV and ate
for
food.
me, home it's not a place for working out.
Hmm.
I used to have my place. I have the gym, or
Yeah.
when I was training, when I was a dancer.
Hmm.
But home is for me is to rest.
Yeah, I mean,
So
same. I'm very much the type of person that, like, if I go to a gym where there are other people that I'm going to be lifting with, or if I go to the pro wrestling school and there are other people that are training there, like, I'm going to get so swept up in the camaraderie and, the competition and stuff like that, that, like, I'll go and I'll exercise. But, like, trying to get me to just do my own workout at home is a whole nother beast. So, yeah, I get it. I can definitely relate. Home is for
yeah,
sleep
so
and for food.
yeah, I actually I bought some weights, some bars,
Hmm.
but they are with dust.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
like maybe 3 months into the pandemic, I like downloaded a bunch of fitness apps and I did for like 3 to maybe 6 months. Like I was working out like every day when I was still like inside my house.
yeah,
Obviously I have a job now and stuff like that. And I'm like going out and doing things. But yeah, when I was still like locked inside my house and not going anywhere, I had to do something just to kill the time and just to not be going crazy. But yeah, it's all collecting dust now.
I I was doing something like 2 or 3 weeks, and then the weight there were there. So
There they are,
I was there. They
collecting
are.
dust. Well, it's
Actually, after my cousin had COVID,
Hmm.
He asked me for the weights, and he got them now.
There you go. Hope it works out for you, cousin.
Yeah,
So it's a good thing that obviously the promoter of Five Luchas wants to get you guys back in training to get everybody back
yeah.
up to speed and make sure everything looks good. Who is the promoter of Five Luchas, if you don't mind sharing? Is that public
Alejandro,
knowledge or Alejandro Saez?
Alejandro Saez is the
Gotcha.
promoter.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense that it would be such a like professional company.
Yes, he
That.
has he's the creator of the Five Luchas Clandestino.
Mhm. And then, so obviously, you guys want to get back into training and get back up to snuff and ready to make good content. Do you have any kind of like personal goals for yourself? Once COVID goes out, I know you are dying to ref up here in the States, but like anything
Yeah.
else, any particular like countries or companies that you're interested in
Mm,
pursuing?
maybe Peru.
Peru?
We have gladiators.
Okay.
Kind of a brotherhood company
Mm-hmm.
with five luchas. That's gladiators. It's a very very good company or promotion.
Sure.
Or I don't know anyone on BWF Brazilian Wrestling Federation,
Mm-hmm.
but I love to go and work with them.
Sure. Good goals to have, absolutely. And then, coming up here and doing your thing in the States would be pretty great. We still
Yes.
haven't been on a show together. Um,
Yeah.
but luckily,
One day.
we have had a chance to meet in person. It's funny that we haven't really like found a way to like circle the around to this conversation, but Ivan and I had the fortune of getting to meet in person when we were on WrestleMania weekend in New York City once upon a time. Why don't you tell
Yes.
folks a little bit about that story?
Yes. First of all, Ori contact me, and I think that was the Instagram of Charles Robinson,
I think so.
and I comment something. I wrote
Hmm.
something in the Instagram, and then Ori contact me, say, would you like to be a part of a community of referees? Yeah, sure, no
Uh-huh.
problem about that. That's it's such for me it's such an honor because we are so far we are so far apart of the world here
Sure.
in Chile. So being one of the, I don't know if I said be the only or be one of the refs of this part of the world for being considered to be a part of a great community like Zebra Talk. It's an honor for me, and I has no doubt about it that I will say yes.
Hmm.
So
And it's always been a pleasure to have you.
yeah, thank you. Well, you wrote about the zebra breakfast
Hmm.
meeting, and there were a few of us that came to the IHOP in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
I was so lost that time,
I
but
mean, I was too. I had never been there before. Yeah, we were
imagine.
having a big like collective like Zebra Talk breakfast at an IHOP in Brooklyn, and there's just like 4 or 5 of us that show up. But go ahead.
but I was in another country, so it was so hard to me. Actually, I had some fun situation that I when I arrived to New York, uh, I remember that Michael Jackson taped a video
A
music
music
video,
video.
sorry,
Yeah,
a music video in Brooklyn,
yeah.
in a how do you say the underground,
The
um
subway.
on the subway,
Yeah,
and I had to stop there to go to the zebra breakfast.
yeah.
Yeah, and
So you had to use the subway that you had seen Michael Jackson
yeah,
using in order
yeah.
to get to
I,
the
I, I,
breakfast. Yeah.
I came down from the subway, and I look around. I said, this is,
I've
I
seen
think
this somewhere
I've seen
before.
this. Yeah, and I was trying to remember, looking at my notes in my on my telephone that
Uh-huh.
in in Google Maps I was marking all the places that that I want to visit that time. And actually, I said, oh, Michael Jackson tapes bed here. This is the place that that I wanna visit. So I take two places in one.
Hmm.
I go to the Silverton, the IHOP, sorry, and write to Odie, I'm here, I'm out, I'm
Hmm.
outside the Zebra Talk, and you came. Um, for me, it was so nice the way that you how to explain or how to say will treat me,
Hmm.
because there was I felt like it was we met each other for years.
Yeah, it definitely felt like meeting a friend
Uh,
in
it,
person that, yeah,
it,
I'd known
it
for a
was
very long time.
so natural,
Yeah.
was so natural, that's a word, so natural. And then we said we salute, we say hi to the other ref.
Hmm.
Chris Bay was with you.
Hmm.
um
Such a random, great detail about this
yeah,
day. Oh, by
all
the
the
way, Chris
referees and Chris Bay.
rooming with me, so he just came to all of this referee stuff. It's
Sí.
pretty great. We have a picture from this day, and it's all these referees and Chris Bay.
Chris Bay. I right there.
So anyway, you come, you sit
So
down, we're all having breakfast and everything.
yeah, we talked some things with other refs, and then the magic happened. And then you say I have to go outside a few minutes, and then no. You say they're here. You
Mhm.
watch your phone, and you say they're here. And who? Like who?
I'm kind of a big fan of surprises, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So I looked to the door of the IHOP, to the entrance of the IHOP, and I saw Jason Ayers,
Hmm.
Chad Patton, um, Charles Robinson.
Hmm.
That that's my
The one, Sean
the
Bennett,
one,
you know, like, yeah,
And Sean Bennett.
yeah.
So I don't know why that day I was with my WWE fan referee shirt
Hmm.
on my back. Uh, so first of all, I was frozen.
Yeah.
I was that that I wasn't my
Excuse.
I don't know what to
Hi,
say.
I love you.
Yeah. I don't know how to act like a fan, but I said inside my mind, I said, you don't have to act like a fan,
Hmm.
but you are a fan. So I was so respectful with all the referees, with the WWE referees.
Hmm.
They answered some questions. Then we took the picture. That was for me. I'm looking the place to print it, and I have it in my place. And since then, so much things changed for me like a ref.
Hmm.
And Audi knows that I'm so grateful for that moment, because for me, like you say, you are such a fan of the surprises. It was a big surprise, because imagine that everyone knows that they were there. The IHOP would be full of referees.
Yeah.
So these things make it so much special, because
Hmm.
uh, because that was the first meeting of the Zebra Talk. So make that thing. I'm so thankful. I'm for that moment, because I had that moment in my mind
Forever.
every day forever.
Yeah.
I
I
I,
really
I
like that you shined a light on like kind of what the whole point was for me was like if we had advertised that everybody was coming, the place would have been absolutely
full.
just like thick with people.
Yeah.
But you
And
know, we advertised it as it was, and that was supposed to be just a collection of referee peers, and the ones that really wanted to be there were there, and they got to interact with some folks that also wanted to be treated as peers. It was nice.
we were like 7, 8
Yeah, there was
referees
only
of
like five
team.
or six people that were there,
Yeah.
in addition to all of our guests, and then myself and Chris Bay. But yeah, so we're kind of winding things down a little bit. We're running out of time a little bit. Let's go ahead and obviously we want to let people know where they can find you, social media wise and everything. But if you could also let people know who you think is really worth taking a look at. If there are any companies. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Five Luchas. You mentioned Peru as the
Yeah.
Gladiators show. But more specifically, if there are any referees that you feel are really like working hard and deserve a look, or wrestlers in particular, please take this time. Go ahead.
Thank you. I invite you to look for Diego Guanchulo
Mhm,
or the DDT run that he has on Japan. Look for Alejandro Saez, for
mhm,
Satara, or Katrina Cortez, known as Jessie here in Chile.
mhm,
Another wrestler here in Chile maybe could be Limite,
mhm,
Limit. Um, we can find we have like 15 or 20 shows online
yeah,
on
what's
the
the best
Facebook.
way to watch Five Luchas?
The Facebook fan page, Five
Okay,
Luchas Clandestino.
cool.
We have a YouTube channel too,
Mhm,
called Five Luchas.
mhm. And folks, if you
Um,
like go to actually like search for Five Luchas, it's actually going to be the number five and then
yes,
Luchas, Luchas.
exactly.
Got it.
So look for them, and enjoy that. Maybe you can find something that you like here in South America.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for being here. Oh, let's talk about your own social media before we wrap things up.
My Facebook fan page is Ivan Navarro Referee.
Mhm.
My Instagram is kind of it's a little bit
Hi.
I dot wait for the number dot ref
Yeah.
on Instagram. And now I have a Twitch channel with of my friends that
Okay.
they are referees. As such, they are tag team. There's Paco and Crazy.
Did you say
They're
they're referees?
no, they're
No,
the
they're a tag
wrestlers.
team. Okay,
They're tag team.
gotcha.
They're a tag team.
I thought you were saying they're
Uh,
like referee tag team. I'm like, that's interesting.
what?
Okay, sure. But go ahead.
So we have a Twitch channel
Hmm.
that we're working on every Friday
Hmm.
on 20 and 8:30
Okay,
West Coast,
sure.
West or East. I don't know.
You're
I'm
East
confused.
Coast, so it would probably
East
be
Coast,
5:30 for me, West Coast.
5:30.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's called No Esperen Nada. The translation is don't expect at all. the,
No
the,
esperen nada.
no esperen nada is don't expect at all.
Okay.
Every Friday, everyone who want to learn some Spanish maybe, or listen some Spanish, we run for 3 or 4 hours every Friday night. So
Hmm.
I invite you to be there to watch us, and in Spotify every week too. If you don't catch the Twitch streaming,
Sure.
we have the chapter on Spotify.
Very cool. Well, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time. I've been wanting to do this with you for a while because I feel like the South American wrestling scene is really just kind of like it's cooking with gas. It's coming right along, and I think that more eyes on it will only help benefit it, and obviously on yourself as well. So thank you very much for joining us here.
Thank you for having me here, and thank you for this great community called Zero Talk.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Ivan Navarro. And if you would like to help support the Zebra Talk Fund or the Zebra Talk podcast, you can actually go onto prowrestlingtees.com/Zebra Talk. We've got all kinds of t-shirts and oh, now I got to figure out how to put a little text bar down here.
Don't
No,
worry
we've
about
got
it.
t-shirts, we've got hats, we've got COVID masks, sweaters, all kinds of stuff. If you would like to be on the show, please send me an email. Or if you would like to receive the Zebra Talk Fund, which is a nonprofit once a month donation that we make to folks to help them travel since referees don't get paid for travel. Email me at zebratalk123@gmail.com. You can find Zebra Talk on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter. It's all at Zebra Talk 123, YouTube, the whole thing. If you're a referee and you're not in the actual Zebra Talk group, please find me or any other referee. They're probably already in it. I'm on Facebook, Robert Odie Brown. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Odie1Canody. And on that note, I really, really appreciate you being here again, Ivan. And I really hope that we get to work together sometime soon and get to meet each other again in person, because it would be really
Of
great.
course,
But
of
thank you
course, I
again for
will.
being here, and good luck.
Thank you.
See you.